Aerospace is about reaching further. Further in technology, into space, and into the future. You want to reach further too. You enjoy puzzling, prototyping, and pioneering. You're drawn to complex questions behind how to make aviation and space travel ready for tomorrow. Quieter, safer, faster, and cleaner. You'll join a community of students from all over the world who, just like you, get bright-eyed over anything that flies. Being part of such a diverse international group prepares you for the aerospace world from day one. This industry revolves around teamwork and a global point of view. That's why it's such an advantage when you've already worked during your studies with people from different cultures, with different perspectives, norms, and values. In our hangar and labs, and on site with partner companies, you will work on technological innovation that reaches past aerospace itself. From developing satellites, to improving wind turbines and Formula One materials. That's how you grow into an engineer who helps technology reach further.
Applied Aerospace Live.
Yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Applied Aerospace Live. This is the third episode. My name is Erik Laan, I'm your host for today. And my co-host is Violeta, a second year student. And we'll be talking about actually day 2 in the mission of Artemis 2. And we also tell something about what we do in our lab. But first to our co-host, Violeta, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Please introduce yourself. What made you come here?
So, hi, I'm a second year student, I'm Spanish, and I decided to come to Inholland because I love space and I love airplanes, I love everything related to it, and I just saw a good program.
And you're also part with AQUILO, right?
Yes.
AQUILO Rocket team?
I'm part of the electronics department in AQUILO,
okay.
In which we are developing the first flight computer that is going to fly in AQUILO. We started with a design of PCB and now we're in the final steps. It's really, really exciting.
Yeah, so when is the next launch for AQUILO?
We will be hosting a live, actually, for that launch, the 29th of May.
29th of May. We'll be there also with Applied Aerospace Live to cover your launch. But let's talk a bit about the Artemis mission, the ongoing Artemis 2 mission. So last night we had the so-called translunar injection burn. It's an important part of the mission, and we can see here in the simulation that the Artemis 2 at some point gets very close to the Earth, about 195 kilometers, and that's the point where they switched on the engine of the module. So look at the back, and the back here is the rocket engine. They switched on for about 5 minutes. And they took a big leap, and now their apogee, so the farthest point they could reach with this orbit, is about 400,000 kilometers. So that's a bit further away than the Moon is from the Earth. And at some point, the module will be intercepted by the lunar gravity, and then will swim back to the Earth. But we are just somewhere in between the Earth and the Moon right now. And so last night there was also an interesting interview with the astronauts, where they were questioned by the media from CBS and Fox News. I hope we can see some videos from that. Yeah. So you see they look very cramped. Would you like to be also on this mission? Could you be? Yes?
I would like to. Honestly, it's a really big opportunity for their careers, and it's a lot of contribution to science. I would love to be there if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but I mean, the risk, to take such a risk on this mission, it's still 1 in 50, 1 in 100 that there is a loss of crew, so this is quite hazardous.
But it's still a big contribution to science, even if the crew is lost. All the technology that they have tested on the orbit of Earth, and because it's a new rocket that they are sending, The first one since the 2000s?
Yeah, well, the second launch of this rocket, but yeah, this is the first time they're having a crew on board of this system.
Yeah.
So this is really taking a leap for science and
Yes.
technology. But yeah, look at how cramped they actually are. This is like a living space of a big caravan with the 4 of them.
And they look a bit cold.
Yes, they look a bit. So, do you know what happened?
I think if I'm not sure about it. It's because of the all the insulation of the capsule. They get all really, really cold or really, really hot when they are in the shadow or in front of the sun, kind of. And there was a problem with the luggage, maybe?
Yeah, there was a problem with the luggage, indeed. Yeah, so that was yesterday. They were looking for the long sleeves because they were wearing short sleeves. But actually, yeah, you can see in the video now that they all have long sleeves and even have a shirt underneath. So that they're kind of coldish, I think. They also said, well, we wish we brought our sleeping gear for cold nights, and they didn't bring them. So I think they are a bit colder than they would expect to be. But yeah, I also heard something about the toilet.
Yes, I read about it as well. That they had a problem with the flushing of the toilet, and they actually had to call Earth on how to fix the toilet because it was not flushing.
Yeah, and that's a problem in space, I think.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, in the last mission in Apollo 13, they didn't have one. But well.
Yeah. So, but fortunately, they fixed it, I think. And,
yes.
Who fixed it? I believe it was
Christina
Koch, who was the plumber of the 4 astronauts who fixed the toilet.
Yeah.
But actually, I heard also in the listening to the radio communication between Earth, they really got an emergency call that something was happening. They were having a leakage.
Oh.
It was something to do with the toilet system. So they were almost at the brink of, okay, what do we do? Do we need to abort? That's always an option then, if there is something serious happen. But they kind of found, okay, there is something with the toilet. Mm-hmm. But what it exactly was, you tell it was a blocking of something. So they had some bad food maybe, or
maybe I'm not quite sure about it, but maybe it had something to do with because it's new technology, all that they developed for that toilet. It's so loud that they have to wear protection for their ears.
Even, okay.
So maybe it had to do something with that.
So it's a powerful toilet, probably, they're using. But it's funny that whenever people talk to astronauts, actually, the first question they ask, how do you use the toilet in space? And again, we have a new mission going to the moon. They have a problem with the toilet. So this is big in the news, I guess, for them. Yeah, so they're now on their way to the moon, and they will actually be behind the moon next Tuesday. Yeah. So we'll be live again here with Applied Aerospace Live, talking about the mission. What do you hope to see Tuesday if we fly on the backside?
New pictures of the backside of the moon, first of all. It's super interesting, and new data, because it's the farthest that the humans have been actually from Earth. So I'm really excited to see all that they discover. I know. So I'm looking forward to that as well, and also see the human perspective of that. So I have a picture of the astronauts, and in the back you see the moon and maybe the Earth. To really get the human perspective on that moment in history, because they will be making history, being the furthest away from the Earth ever. Also, I learned actually that if they would have launched a day later, they would have made this record. So the orbit would have been slightly less high. So they would have broken the record. So I'm happy they launched really at the time that they launched. It was really accurate, the time that they launched. It was like they said at this time and at that time. Yeah,
and so actually also the astronauts were a bit surprised. They were prepared, but they were surprised that it was really happening just on the first go. So the astronauts are very well prepared always, and they are always prepared, okay, we have a delay or something else, we have to wait for 2 weeks. They can handle that, they are prepared for that, but they were surprised that they were actually going right on the first moment they could.
Yeah, and also with the problem with the batteries. And they managed to fix it and actually make it work.
Yeah, yeah. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, so let's have. We'll be back also talking about Artemis 2. We saw the fluffy toy in the
There's
image.
a question from the audience.
And there is a question from the audience. So can you tell us this question from the audience?
The question is for Violeta. What made you become enthusiastic about joining AQUILO Rocket?
Yes. So maybe repeat the question for the audience.
The question is, what made me enthusiastic to join AQUILO Rocket team? Well, I'm always been a big fan of rockets, and actually get to work on one and have hands-on experience on propulsion, get the experience of doing launches and tests. Everything sounds so exciting and fascinating to actually see how a rocket is made, because you know, oh yeah, they go to space, they do boom, they do this, they do that. But actually getting to see, oh, so we do an MCU for it, we get data, we are deciding solid propulsion, liquid propulsion. Is really exciting to be part of these decisions.
Yeah, yeah, and also believe people that are joining AQUILO Rocket team, they're actually very well prepared to really step into the space industry, because you know how to work with rockets, and many companies are building rockets these days to get into orbit.
It's so really good experience for the internship.
It's a very good experience for that. So, yeah, thank you for the question. I was talking about the fluffy toy for Artemis. We'll get back to that. You saw the fluffy toy floating around in the cabin. Yeah. We'll get back to that. But first, let's discuss a bit also what we're doing here at the Inholland University of Applied Sciences, our aeronautical engineering curriculum. We have a so-called Inholland Space Lab in this building, where we we design, build and test our own satellite. We want to launch it into orbit somewhere in 2028. By the end of 2028, we call it Inholland Sat 1, and we have like a little 3D printed
it's really nice.
the version of it. It's a 6U CubeSat that's doing Earth observation, satellite communication, and also do something with also cleaning up the orbits of space. This is becoming an important thing for space, that we keep also orbits clean, and also take care of the atmosphere actually, where we don't build our satellite from aluminum, but we build it from carbon-based materials. So when they burn up in the atmosphere, we don't destroy the ozone layer, because with the aluminum we actually do that. And this project that we're doing in Inholland Sat 1 actually is also supported by the Beethoven project. And the Beethoven project is a project that is set up for educational schools to create more workforce even for the semicon industry. You might think, well, semicon and space, what do they have to do with each other? Well, actually, the engineers that are needed in the semicon industry, actually space engineers are very well suited for that. So they learn how to work in a clean room, they work with cleanliness to keep everything very clean.
It's pretty useful.
They work with the vacuum systems. Yeah, so this is very important also for the Dutch economy, that we also support the semicon industry.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
In which rocket is going to be launched, or is?
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't ordered the launch yet. It will not be SLS. That is a bit too big for our little satellite. But we're looking at one of the startups in Europe, like ISAR Aerospace, that is also on the brink of launching their rocket. Maybe Vega C or Ariane 6, but we want to launch on a European rocket, and somewhere in 2028. That's our goal, and we're actually building it here in our facility. We have behind the airplane there is a clean room where we do all this work. Yeah, so that's about what we do here in the lab. Let's talk a bit about the mascot for Artemis 2. We saw it floating in the cabin of the crew, the Orion crew module.
We have another question from the audience.
Oh, we have another question from the audience. So, tell us.
What do you think about the Pujales, the German CubeSat on board the Artemis 2?
That's a good question. So, Actually, on the Artemis 2 mission, there is also 4 CubeSats that are being deployed, and they were being deployed from the upper stage of the rocket. And so I find it interesting that they are there, but I find it weird the moment that they deployed it, because they deployed it right after actually the re-entry burn of the upper stage. So they did the re-entry burn, and then the upper stage is flying in deep space and actually targeting a re-entry at the Pacific Ocean. And so the CubeSats were then deployed, and they also are now targeting towards re-entry in the Pacific Ocean. So yeah, I'm curious to learn.
Really weird.
Maybe there is one of the viewers who could really tell us more about it in the comments. What is happening with these satellites? I believe the German, one of the 4 CubeSats is German. It has a water thruster, so it can do some orbital maneuvering, but yeah, being in such a highly energetic orbit.
And also the rocket that they launched it, because it's the first cabin crew that goes, and launching 4 CubeSats, it's a high risk as well for that.
Yeah, but actually they put these CubeSats in deployers, and they're completely insulated, so they don't pose a risk to anything related to the crew. And I just want to give also opportunities to science teams to fly CubeSats in coordination with the crew. They also did that on Artemis 1, but actually that was a big failure actually, because those satellites were all dead on arrival, because there was such a delay in the launch of Artemis 1. All the batteries were low, and it was
the problem.
You as an electronics engineer, you know all about batteries that don't work. You should also have a good battery on AQUILO to work.
We have 3, I think.
You have 3, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I see another question from the audience.
The question is there already optical communication on board with the astronauts, or still old school radio only?
Yeah, so the question is there optical communication on board or only RF?
I don't know actually.
Yeah, they do RF communication, of course, but I know they have an experiment on board to do optical communication from when they are in the area of the moon. They will do also optical communication link, and with optical you can get a much higher data rate. That's what some tests they want to do, but I believe this test will be carried out when they actually arrive on Tuesday in the vicinity of the moon. So thanks for all these questions, and please in the comments, if people find useful information, some nice stories to tell, please add it to the comments. Let's talk a bit about the mascot, the plush mascot that was carried along with the crew. If you look at the video, we looked at the video of the interview, you could actually see it floating in space.
They still had it.
Yeah, they still had it. Yeah, so what do we know about this mascot?
Well, his or her name is Iris, and it's carrying names, actually, of people to the space. It has a slot for an SD card on the back, and it's taking names with it to the moon and back, actually.
Yeah, and have you heard about the story, how what it really shows?
No, I haven't heard it.
Well, it's actually the moon, and then there is the Earth. So it visualizes Earthrise, and that is also famous from Apollo 8, because that was the first time that humans could actually see the Earth rise from the lunar horizon, and it's a famous picture. It's also in the logo of Inholland Space Lab, because it really showed, okay, there is one humanity on one planet, we have to take care of each other, and it really started a movement also for environmental concern, this image. So they put it also in this toy. So the moon and the Earth above it, and there is a little, it has a little cap, and so it floats around. But actually, it has a purpose on board of the crew module, because they use it to show the crew when the crew is in a free fall, meaning they're in microgravity. So they see the toy float, and that means, okay, we have zero gravity now. We can unbuckle and also free float in our spacecraft.
It's like the little signs on the airplanes.
Yeah. So fasten your seatbelts. You can or you have to take them off again. You can walk to the toilet
Not in
and
this
hope
case.
it works. Yeah, yeah. So we're looking forward to the next days. We'll be following closely the mission.
Yeah.
What are you still looking for in the mission? What's your eye on?
Also, I'm really looking to because I read that there's all the Orion capsule, it's always doing these micro fixes, it's never still.
Yeah.
It's so, and I'm wondered about how does this work and how they manage to do it. It's automatic? Do they actually do those micro fixes themselves? It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, so you mean that it flies to the moon and
Yeah.
it's like, how do they orient it?
Yeah, because no, not the way that they do it, because it's never still. It's doing little tweaks every single time.
Yeah, with the thrusters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an interesting spacecraft, so to speak. It costs more than $1 billion actually to build it, so it's a quite expensive one at that. But yeah, I hope they keep the astronauts safe in the coming days.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we've talked enough about the current status. We'll be looking closely at the next days. From here in Delft, thank you for watching. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you to Violeta.
Thank you for
And
having me.
we'll see you tomorrow. So may the force be with you.
Yeah. Oh, we have another
Thank you.
question from.
Oh. One more question or? Oh, one more question. We'll take the question. No problem.
And someone says for Violeta, are you interested in a job in space, and what type of role are you looking for?
Right now.
Please redo the question.
The question is if I'm interested in a job in space and what would be it right now. And yeah, I'm actually interested in a job in space, and I would be for starting my career, I would love to have an engineering job and designing something related to a satellite, or yeah, anything actually related to space would be nice.
I think this is a great job interview. All the space companies out there have expect Violeta to apply for jobs in the aerospace industry. Okay, no more questions from the audience? Okay, thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.